Okay, so then of course we all did meet up as a group again back in Athens, and it tended to be a bit of an impromptu night as well actually down at Athens bar. Good fun. And then the next day had a huge big drive up to Kavala. We stayed there. That's where all the New Zealanders had a practice of the haka, which then sort of worked out quite well from then on. Well done on that for Craig and Lucas for their leadership in the haka. And then following day, of course, we had that interesting drive into Turkey. We were only probably a bit of a record there. It was only about 2.5 hours or so on the border. I got my moment of fame. I can now tell everybody that I drove all the way from Greece to Turkey. Get to drive the coach, probably a highlight for me. Get to do that. And then, of course, Gallipoli. Well, we went to Troy first in the afternoon, had a look around there. Troy's available. It was a good guide, Mustafa. Yeah, does a good job there, did the whole Gallipoli thing. Hopefully for those of you even that aren't of nationality of New Zealand or Australian, still sort of enjoyed the spirit of it. Definitely was an adventure and something you won't forget. Be probably frozen into your memory. And for those of us from New Zealand and Australia, I think that dawn service, actually realise you were there. Probably next year and the year after, it'll have its biggest reflection when you see it on TV, or you perhaps go to the dawn service in your own country and you suddenly realise, hey, I was there last year looking at it. For me, definitely a highlight. Then of course we had the great drive after that. We managed to pick everybody up and not lose anyone, and we got into Turkey that night about 10, 11 o'clock, and Istanbul was quite a big city, what, 11 odd million people. Managed to find the hotel, some great driving by Paul to get us there that night. And the following day into the Blue Moss, did the spice markets, so everyone started getting into the whole bargaining story again. And after that we had our dinner that night, which again was rather interesting with the belly dancing. And we then went into Bulgaria. We had our night there, had a beautiful upgrade at our Bulgarian hotel. Then to Romania, and we met Sebastian. Sebastian, good value? Sebastian was great, isn't he? He hasn't clicked on the fact that every Contiki coach only misses his little microphone theory bit, but he's a great guy and makes Romania memorable. And Dracula's Castle, of course, huge highlight. It's quite pretty. And then of course after Romania we snuck on through into Hungary again, no problems with another border, managed to sneak through into there and have a look around that night, and next morning have a bit of a chance to have a quick flick through the city, and then of course into Vienna itself. Vienna's, I think you really notice it as a beautiful city when you come out of the Eastern Bloc countries and everything's just so clean and green. And as I mentioned, it seems funny, you got horse and buggy rides in Vienna for about €65 for 3/4 of an hour. We just come from Romania and every man and his dog, so to speak, is on a pony and cart. So it really brings with only one day's drive difference between the countries. Then drove through into Munich, stopped off at the Mauthausen concentration camp on the way, squeezed that in, and then we're into the beer halls at night. And everyone enjoy the beer hall? Yeah, it's good fun. Lucas, I think Lucas's name's coming up quite a bit. After Munich, we headed back to Austria. Whitewater rafting. Everyone enjoy the whitewater rafting that did that? How many people actually fell out unintentionally? No one? Who fell out intentionally? Everyone? Got pushed in? Excellent. Okay, so we did that, and then of course we got to stop at Hofgarden, great little place there. That was the night we had another party, the red light party. We got to meet some of the other Contiki groups, having not seen anyone for 3 weeks or so. And I think a few people decided they preferred it that way after that night, but it was still fun. A good night was had. And then of course the next day the bike ride, probably a few people, if you're sitting sort of slightly on an angle on your seat, you're obviously still feeling the bike ride. Good fun, nice little barbecue. And next day, of course, we were heading into Switzerland, and the campsite of Switzerland has to be one of my favourites. I think it's just nestled in the valley of Lauterbrennen, absolutely amazing place. And lucky enough for Jungfrau, for going up the mountain, that the weather was pretty much 100%. Tim said so. Tim actually was saying to me the other night it was his highlight going up there, so that was enjoyable as well. And of course, the almost 100 club. Actually, a few people did get through the 100 club there, so that was well done. And then of course we drove to Amsterdam, or St. Goar, had a little night there, wine tasting down in the wine cellar, and everyone went nuts at Cookie Clucks and Beer Steins, and then into Amsterdam day before yesterday. And once again, went in there. Everyone enjoy the culture event? It's different, you probably wouldn't go back again yesterday. Thought back to a few people do. And then of course yesterday just being a free day to explore Antranks, the canal bikes, those sorts of things. And then of course our dinner out last night, canal cruise and dinner last night. And now just our ride back to London. So that's 46 days. If you think about it, we've pretty much seen every major site and monument there is to see in Europe. We've done it at a running pace. So yeah, so it's been the 46 days. As I say, it's the longest tour you could possibly do. Everyone probably at some stage, whether it's been because they've been sick or just a bit of lack of sleep, has probably felt it. But at the same time, when you get all your photos back and you're looking at them in a couple of days' time when you're feeling a bit refreshed, definitely will be something that you'll never forget for the rest of your life. I mean, I did this tour in '99 when I did it as a client, and there's no way I possibly thought, 7 years ago, that I'd end up coming back and doing another one, let alone being at the front of the coach. But I know that tour that I had was best holiday I've ever had in my life. And if you guys have had half the holiday that I managed to have that time, well, then you should have hopefully had a pretty good time.